So, hello everybody. My name is Johnnie Geathers. Welcome to another JG Mental Health Fridays. I hope all of you are having a great day so far. You just got your day started. I hope you have a great day. Today, I have a special guest with me for this series, for this episode and everything. And I'm gonna have him introduce himself and share what he does in this space.
All right. Hey, Mastermind community. My name is Brandon. I'm a licensed social worker in Colorado, also in Texas as well. I work for an organization that works with unhoused families. We work with unhoused families to find them positive and permanent housing solutions. And it's an honor to be on here with Johnny. I really appreciate the invite. I heard that potentially I may be the first guest. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
I
you
don't
are the
know.
first one.
I don't know how I got that honor, but I appreciate it definitely.
Well, you know why you got you got the honor to be the first guest. So just a little backstory, everybody. So back in I'll say May or early June, I had put like a post on Instagram asking if anybody had like extra topics or anything that people wanted me to talk about more so and everything. And then some people did reach out to me and gave me some topics and everything. But then Brandon had actually asked me, he was like, have you ever thought about having a guest? And I was like, well, I don't know about it. And I said, let me think about it. And then, I was figuring out how to normally like record it and everything like that. Cause I normally record my videos on my phone and such. But I thought about it and I said, you know what? I can actually record on Zoom. So that's when Brandon and I started talking about it. And then we met up and talk about like what different things we want to talk about on this, for this today. And here we are and everything. So I'm thankful for Brandon being the first official guest of JG Minha Fridays. Hopefully, if more people want to become guests and everything, just contact me, connect with me, and at the end, I'll share out my my links and everything in that nature. So let's get into the topic. So Brandon, let me ask you this: what do you think about young Black men having mental health conversations?
Man, that's a great question. What I would say is it doesn't happen enough, right? I feel like it doesn't happen enough. You and we're both social workers, so I can't speak for anybody that's in a different field other than social work because I just don't know the statistics or the information on it. But when we're thinking about even like the social work field, about 80% of it is white women within the social work field. So we don't see a lot of people that look like us that are in the community, which was part of the reason that like I really wanted to connect with you in the first place, was just because it was like, oh my God, like I see somebody who I can relate to at least on, without getting into any like deeper parts of it. Like I see you, you look like me, we probably have had some experiences that are relatively similar.
Mhm.
And just being in the field and just knowing that like we're very underrepresented in the field. When we're talking about mental health, if we can't even find representation in the field, then we're definitely underrepresented when we're talking about individuals who are not related in the field, specifically young Black men, young Black people in general, and not just Black, but anybody in the BIPOC community.
Right, I agree. Because one of the things is basically having that space to be open and vulnerable to have, conversations, not just in terms of mental health, but just conversation in general. I know within within the space that I work at, I'm the only guy. I'm the only guy in my space, even though it's a Black owned private practice that I work for, but I'm the only male therapist in that space. So, it is, a hot commodity for men being social workers, therapists, and counselors to be out there and also for people to be aware that we do exist out here because, like you said, this industry is more of a female dominated, industry. And it's, a rare occasion where most people will say, oh, there's a Black male therapist here, or oh, there's a Black male counselor here, and everything. And when most individuals hear that, okay, there are men that exist, then that's when people more so want to get, especially young men, more so want to talk more about, all right, I do want to connect with this person because he looked just like me, or I want to connect with this person because I feel like I can relate to him and things of that nature. Um, in that aspect. But also what I feel like when it comes to, young black men having the conversation is basically having, individuals to trust because, in the aspect of therapy and all that, the first thing we start off with is building a relationship. And if you're not able to build that relationship, then that individual won't be able to share the things that they kind of want to get off their chest and such. So do you agree in terms of that aspect of, that most young men won't open up more because they feel as though they don't have nobody to trust?
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. Like, what do we say in social work? We say a lot of time rapport is going to be the number one indicator of the outcome of that patient, or I'm sorry, of that client. Like,
Right.
if the regardless of modality, regardless of approach, that rapport is really going to be the thing that is going to impact the situation more than anything. And if you can't build that rapport, um, it's just really not, it's not going to be as successful as it could be, because we're afraid to open up. We're afraid to make statements. We might fear reprisal from others or even from our therapist. So here's an example. A lot of times people state, people that work within the mental health field uh, are individuals that also need to get assistance with mental health. 100%. Like, for me, I could say, yeah, definitely. Like, um, just working with therapists that are able to connect, that I feel like understand me. Like, I may not feel as comfortable telling somebody that is maybe from a different generation, that doesn't look like me, that doesn't understand my experiences. I may not trust that they're going to understand where I'm coming from or understand my experience that I'm having. So I agree 100% with everything that you just said.
Right. And normally when I tell my clients, especially my younger ones, especially the ones that are like my teenage clients, I normally tell them that, first off, I want to get to know you first. I want to build that relationship with you first before we even dive deep into, the deeper topics and everything like that. Because that's what most, people assume when they come to therapy. Automatically, they feel like they got to just pour out right then and there during the first session. And that's not really the case. What it is that you just got to build that relationship first, then you work your way into going into those topics. But like we said, trust always starts off first with that. And I think another aspect when it comes to like, young black men actually having conversations about mental health is mainly just having that sense of encouragement. Um, I feel like most, young men, when they want to have that space, they don't have that support to say, you know what, you got this, you're doing the right thing and everything. And I want to say to young men out here that's actually watching this video or listening to this, that don't feel like you are weak when you say that, all right, I want to seek help, I want to seek support. Just look at it as a strength. Look at it as a way that you're trying to find more guidance into things that you kind of already know that you want to do, but you just need a second opinion and everything. And, in most cases, when I, do intakes and stuff with, the young black men, and, I ask them like, who referred you to, to this services and everything like that. And if some of them say, I looked you up and everything. And I always give them kudos to say, you know what, I'm, proud of you for actually taking an initiative within yourself to say that looking for services, or you looking for more help, or even coming to therapy or counseling in that nature, because we always hear that, oh, my parents told me to do it, or I was forced to do it and everything like that. But if it's somebody directly saying that I actually chose to do it, especially at a young age, that's best definitely, the support that we got to push out to people to say, yeah, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. I'm curious, just because you do work with adolescents and teens, it sounds like,
Mhm.
what do you think are some of the biggest barriers to them actually um, making that step and reaching out, or actually talking about mental health? What is it within the community that creates that barrier?
I think the biggest barrier that I would see from experience, mainly is just that aspect of, I think it's more so fear. It's the fear of saying that, okay, I actually need to come to therapy, or I actually have to, do this and everything. And it kind of goes back to that aspect within the Black community as a whole of stigma. We already know there's a stigma about mental health, and how, as soon as we hear the word mental health, we think that, oh, it's something wrong with us. We got to get diagnosed with this, that, and the third. But in actuality, it's more so that mental health, in its true definition, is basically your overall well-being. It's a shape of who you are. It's how you function in life and everything. But within the teams that I work, because I work with everybody, I work from kids down to older adults. But with the teams that I mainly work with, the most, I always tell them that, this is a safe space for you just to be able to, open up a safe space for you to learn, basic skills like social skills, communication skills. Even if you have questions about, all right, I don't know how to move to the next step in life, this is where you could have this space and that outlet just to talk about those things and everything. And I could, I'm proud of like the teams I actually work with, because you get to see like the growth, and just the growth in terms of age wise, but also the growth of what they're doing when they say that they're actually doing the work to why they want to seek out services and everything. But yeah, I think the
You,
biggest barrier is just that aspect of, of fear. But then on top of the fear is that stigma of saying that, oh, I might have to get labeled with this and such.
yeah, I agree 100%. That's the fear comes from the stigma and the perceived reactions of others if they were to find out the situation that we're in. One thing that I love to highlight is it's unrealistic if we're talking just about medical health, right? It's
Right.
unrealistic for somebody to have a medical issue. Let's say I break my arm. It's unrealistic to just say, I'm just going to heal this myself. I'm just going to wait for it. Like you could do that, right? That's something that could happen. You could wait for your arm to potentially heal, but
Right.
you're going to have some severe implications as a result of that. Most people are willing to go to the doctor, get that service, get that fixed, get that checked out.
Right.
To think that we could go our entire life without ever having any mental health issues, it's a thought that I don't agree with, right? I think that throughout our lifetime, each of us are going to experience some mental health issues that we need to get addressed, that we need to talk to somebody else about, somebody who knows what's done. And I think part of the issue is people don't realize that clinicians, when we're talking about licensed social workers or psychotherapists or whoever, clinicians are actually performing a service. It's not just you're not just talking. You're using evidence-based practices
Right.
to help a person heal. And if we can accept the fact that this is a healing process and this is something that it we all experience, like normalize the experience for everybody, right?
Mhm.
Normalize it and understand that it's something that we all deal with.
Right. I agree. I agree. And while we are talking about how, when you had asked me the question about barriers and everything, and we was just talking about the aspect of, fear and the stigma, it actually ties to a main thing that happens in society today, which is social media and the effects of social media upon, mental health. So Brandon, tell me one thing that you notice when it comes to social media and its impact on mental health.
First, I want to say I'm the type of person, like I love social media. I'm constantly on it. I'm constantly like, well, I may not post a lot, but I'm constantly like scrolling through. I'm looking. I'm on it. I'm all about social media, and I think it's time that we as a society kind of accept that social media is here, and rather than trying to say, okay, let's stay off of social media, right? That's relevant for, old people like me, right? That's not relevant for that's not relevant for young people, right? Like
Right.
social media is ingrained in the culture. It's something that they are going to experience, and it's something that is part of their lifetime. Kids that have been born, past, I don't know, 2010 have never experienced a life. I don't know the date. That's an arbitrary date, but have never experienced a life without social media. But at the same time, it's important for us, especially within the mental health field, and just parents, leaders, aunts, uncles, whatever, to help inform the younger generation and even ourselves that are using social media, because the fact is racism and hate speech are all over social media. Some platforms are worse than others, but there's trends that glorify making racist comments on social media, trends that glorify making hate-filled comments on social media. And it's all been researched. What I would love to do, I don't know if you could do it, but I love to just throw some articles up just so that people could see that I'm not just making this up, but this is actually stuff that's being researched, and it's stuff that is actually out there. But it's been shown that exposure to some of that racism on social media has been indicative of higher suicide risk within the BIPOC community. And if we aren't preparing ourselves for the situations that are going to occur, and we aren't talking, having real conversations about what's out there, how to respond, how to react, providing tools to address those, then we're really setting up our future for failure.
Right. And in terms of that aspect of social media and how it impacts, the mental health aspect, I feel like with social media could be a good thing, because I use social media as a platform just to share about, different resources, different things of that nature. But then there's individuals that share stuff just to share stuff on a regular basis. And I know when it comes to our young ones, the main thing that impacts them when it comes to their mental health and their well-being is comparison to others. So once they see, somebody, doing a thing, building a milestone or something, automatically they start questioning themselves and saying that, okay, I'm not hitting this particular mark at a certain age, or I'm not doing something that's supposed to be done for me. And that could probably impact them in terms of their well-being, and saying that, okay, I'm not enough and everything. And another aspect with comparison, to other people as well. And most adults, we all do it as well when it comes to, people that we kind of idolize, like celebrities and, social influencers and things of that nature. That could cause an impact to, someone's well-being, feeling like they're not enough and everything. But it's up to us just to, not saying that, okay, we got to get rid of it completely. But if you feel like, okay, I just need some time and space from it just for a little bit, it's okay to do that. And then you get back on it whenever you want to and stuff. But you can't just say, all right, we got to get rid of it fully and everything, because we use it all the time, not just for sharing information and things like that. We use it for news, we use it to figure out what's going on in the world and everything. Social media is there, and then there's more different other kind of platforms that are being made and created just for people to get easy access on their computer, easy access on their phone, easy access on their watch if they have any digital watches and stuff like that, and everything.
One thing, Johnny, one thing you said, I got to speak on this.
Okay, go ahead.
I love the fact that you mentioned the comparison to others, because one thing that even I've noticed for myself, right? I'm I'm doing okay in life, right? I'm doing okay. But I go on social media and I'm looking at social media, and now all of a sudden I want to stop what I'm doing to figure out how I can become a content creator and make money online, when it's not even the reality. The reality is, I'm, we're not even talking about me, but some people are in a space in life where they're doing better than most or some. And then they're watching these videos online of these people who are going out there and renting stuff, selling false narratives, you know, straight up just lying on the social media
Right.
platforms about, oh, I make 10K a month. This is how I do it. All I do is set up an automated system. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, now I want to be that person, but the reality is that person really wants to be me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and just sorting through those lies and those misconceptions of what it is to be successful. And I think a big part of that is going back to your original statement of having those conversations about mental health, and within that, establishing goals, talking about what's important for us, what it is that we want to attain, and not getting sidetracked
Right.
because we're seeing these other things on social media.
Right. And I like how you brought that up because I could give a story about how this was created. So with JG Mental Health Fridays, it actually started during the rise of the pandemic. It was during, 2020. That was the time where all jobs got shut down, everything got closed down. At that time, I was working at Family Links, and Family Links had their furlough me. They had to furlough me because all the schools were closed and everything. They was like, well, what's the point of, you working if you're not seeing anybody? So they had to furlough me. That led me to going, back to therapy, figuring out, okay, what can I do in this moment? Because there's nothing to, there's nothing to do and stuff. And it's something in my head, and I think it was the Lord above that gave me that notion to say, you know what? Start making just to make some videos, just talk about different things and see if people could receive what you're that you're offering and everything. And from there I just did it on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Those were the main three platforms I was just starting off sharing it out to. And then once people started catching on to it and feeling like, oh, you should keep going because these videos are very resourceful and helpful and everything, that's when my mom had asked me. She was like, when you going start a YouTube channel and everything like that? And I say, I don't know about that and everything, because at the time she had her YouTube channel, my siblings got a YouTube channel on their end and everything. And around that time, that's when people were saying, oh, you should be making content because that leads to more money and all that stuff like that. And then like yeah, 2021, around my birthday, that's when I said, all right, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel and everything like that. But mainly what it was gonna be was just share whatever I, make and share on Facebook and everything like that. I just put it on YouTube so everybody can have easy access to it. And then it switched from there to now where I just do snippets on the other platforms. And I say, okay, if you want to watch the whole thing, you can watch the whole thing, on YouTube. But I know as like content creators and things of that nature, they kind of feel like, all right, I got to hit certain subscribers so I can get monetized and all those different things. But I know for me now, with doing this, for a while now, I feel as though ain't no need for me. When it happens, it'll happen and everything. I don't have to worry about saying that, oh, I just need 1,000. Come on, y'all, subscribe, or whatever, which is appreciative that you can do it, but I'm not really into it. As long as you're getting information and I'm helping you to say, okay, this person knows about how to talk about different aspects, different topics, and then that's helping me lead me to say, okay, I might need to go to therapy or check it out and things of that nature. I'm doing my job. That's all that matters and everything.
Yeah, and hey, you won't say it, but I'll go ahead and say it. Subscribe to JG Mental Health Fridays. All right, go ahead and subscribe. And then secondly, I do want to say, like, the fact that you're doing it because of a passion makes
Mhm.
it more relevant. First off, real, and like, when you're doing things because you're passionate about it and it's what you actually want to do, I feel like more times than not, it's going to be more rewarding.
Right.
Do you feel like it's more rewarding for you? And if it is, like, how how much would you say that has impacted your desire to continue going?
It has been rewarding. I had people like reach out to me and said, "Thank you for this video. Thank you for talking about this topic because it relates to me and everything." Um, even to like an aspect where I had put the thing out for everybody to say, okay, if you have any topics or anything that you want me to talk about, please let me know. And I have one of my friends give me like 5 different topics, to talk about and everything and all that. And I share it out. And I feel like it is rewarding for me in this space to just talk about those things because one, it's a space for me just to talk about anything. Two, it's a space for where I know that it's going to reach to somebody and somebody's going to receive it. And then three, I know that once I get done like recording and stuff, and it's uploaded and everything like that, I'm like, all right, I'm ready for the next one. It keeps me going. It keeps me going. There are some moments where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a little break here and there, which I do. I take a break always every year. I take a break when it get close to like my birthday time. I'll say, all right, y'all, I'm taking a break for the year, for the close out the end of the year, and I'll come back mid-January or so and everything. But even around that time when the break is happening, most of my topics that I'm already coming up with and garnering is already, ready to go and stuff. So I look forward to like being on the camera, just talking about those different things and everything. But it's a good, a good feeling. It's a rewarding feeling. And I do want to, keep it going as long as I'm able to keep it going, and such. But yeah,
Love it.
yeah, man, yeah. Also another aspect when it comes to like social media as well is that it does impact our routine. I'm guilty as charged. I know when I get up in the morning, I'm already on my phone in the in the morning and stuff like that, and posting certain things in that nature and stuff. But there are some moments where I know that okay, I could put it down. I ain't gotta look at it and such. But Brandon, in your aspect, how do you feel that social media impacts individuals' routines?
Uh, Man, you already stated it. It's like social media, like especially when it comes to when you're actually posting. Or I can't speak for everybody else, right?
Right.
Speaking for myself, like when I post, I'm I'm like trying to listen to all the gurus and everything. It's like, okay, once you post, you got to be available for 20 minutes to make sure that you interact with people who
Mm-hmm.
respond to your comments. And then you got to post during certain hours of the day. It got crazy. Like at one point, I was like trying to you know, respond to posts at, crazy hours of the day, where I might be occupied. I might be sleep, because that's what the social media calendars or whoever said that you're
Right.
supposed to do. At some point, I had to just give up on, like, not saying that my social media, like, I'm content. Like, the thing I love about my social media is the people that I follow, like, those people, like, I'm going to interact with, right? I'm gonna, like, I am about connections,
Right.
and I'm not about, like, yeah, I could probably have thousands and thousands of followers. I only have hundreds at this point, but I could have thousands of
Mm-hmm.
followers. But I don't want thousands of followers that I'm never going to interact with, that are never going to interact with me. I want authentic relationships. If it's not authentic, then I'm not really super interested.
Right.
But social media has the tendency for me to dictate my life when I'm overly invested, because I'm there. I'm worried about, okay, man, this isn't getting enough likes, man. I go back, I look at the videos of myself. I'm like, oh man, I look crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm overly critical of myself, which affects my mental health.
Right.
I'm looking, at comments of people I've never met who are saying crazy things in the comments, and it's like, you know, it doesn't make me feel great about myself. I've learned through time not to value anybody's I wouldn't say I don't value anybody's opinion, but not to value criticism of those that don't have the same connection in my life as
Right.
as I appreciate. but also not to value the praise either. Because when you value the praise, you're still giving other people the opportunity to affect how you feel, right? Or how I feel. So one thing with me working with the unhoused population, right? If I'm helping a family out, and and that family is getting into housing, that family is doing well, it's like, oh man, Brandon, you're great, you're wonderful. I appreciate everything you do. Well, thank you. Well, it's my job, like it's what I'm supposed to do. But when I don't, then it's, oh man, you don't do anything. I hate this organization. Like, and if I valued those statements of praise and criticism the same way I do as for social media, um, I wouldn't make it. Right. I would have a mental breakdown because I'm just giving other people too much power. And that's just something that I'm trying to learn within social media, is just to not care. But honestly, I'm not there yet. But I'm
Right.
still working on it.
Yeah, yeah, we all are, a work in progress when it comes to that aspect of social media. Especially like you said, when certain things don't get certain likes or certain things don't get certain reshares, or when you look on your story and you see, oh, this one post on the story got like 100 views and then the other one got like five and stuff. Yeah, there's things in our mind that tell us like, all right, you're not doing enough, or you're not hitting like you're supposed to hit, but in actuality, you're doing what you can and everything. And that actually goes into that aspect of self-worth. It ties to that aspect of self-worth. It's like you are letting others determine what your self-worth is, but it's up to you to determine what your self-worth is and everything. And once you have a better grasp of what your self-worth is, everything else is not going to, affect you as much. It can, but then you know how to roll it off and say, all right, yeah, this little, something help, impact me, but it's not going to dictate who I am as an individual and everything and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. So now we at this time where we're gonna give y'all some coping exercises that we're gonna have y'all practice as usual. So Brandon, I'm gonna start with you. What coping exercise that you want people to practice?
All right. Yeah. So for me, I'm not even. I don't know if we're even going to consider this a coping exercise, but
All right.
one, I love what you stated about self worth. Right. Identifying your self worth and identifying that you matter, you're relevant, and others don't need to validate that for you. You're automatic. You just are. You're relevant. You matter, and that's it. Period. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. And then the second thing is another thing that you said, Johnny, earlier, which is give yourself time. Give yourself time and space. We can't show up for everybody every day the same way. Show up for yourself and give yourself space outside of social media, right? So social media is here to stay. Like we got to stop with the notions of just don't do social media, don't do social media, right? If that works for you, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. But if we're being realistic, most of or a large portion of future generations, social media is going to be ingrained into their life. So it's important to identify, do check in with yourself, check in to see how you're feeling, check in to see how it's impacting you, and give yourself space and time to take a break as necessary. I know it could destroy the algorithm, right? But
Right.
let let's talk about real life. Like, what is the impact on you long term? Take a break.
Right, right. And the coping exercise I'm going to leave with, while we was talking about the conversation of, having young Black men have a space to have mental health conversation, is be open to seek help. I feel as though, don't let no one dictate what you should do. If you feel in your heart that you want to actually give it a try and check it out, go ahead and, be open to, check it out, see what it is, because you never know. Once you check it out and you feel like, all right, this is a safe space for me, this is my place that I could be able to go to and be myself and be open and be free, go ahead and do it. So be open to, be open to seek help, and don't let a stigma impact your well-being and your wellness and everything. So again, I appreciate Brandon for being my guest, my first guest on JG Mental Fridays. Wonder if he gonna let that happen for other people to hit me up to say, yeah, John, I saw the video. I want to be a guest too and everything. But I do appreciate him. I appreciate him so much. But Brandon, before we go, is there any closing words or remarks that you want to give to everybody?
No, I don't think so. I want to say thank you again for allowing me to be a part of your platform, allowing me to be on there. Hopefully, everybody could take some time to take some space for themselves. And since we're talking about social media, I guess I'll just go ahead
Yep,
and throw it out
I was
there.
about to tell you. Yep.
Um, I'm underscore Brandon underscore William.
All right. All right, y'all. And as always, if you have any words or topics that you want me to address on JG Men Up Fridays, you can contact me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out all the videos on there. Also, go on my website through Wix. Check out the videos on there. Learn more about me. Check out articles I did for Helpful Living Magazine. Check out podcast episodes I've been on. And connect with me if you want me for any speaking engagements and other opportunities. Again, we appreciate all of you for your love and support. And as always, I'm going to leave you with the closing message. Reflect on the positives, plan ahead, and relax. RPR. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Be well. Be blessed. And peace.